Call the meeting to order for the Village of Round Lake Beach. Our board meeting for Monday, January 25th, 2016. Please call the roll.
Trustee Husk. Trustee Valdez.
Here.
Trustee Wallace.
Here.
Trustee Butler.
Here.
Trustee Mount.
Here.
Trustee Bennis.
Here.
Mayor Hill.
Here. Let the record show a quorum is present. Would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Butler, second by trustee Wallace. Any questions, additions, deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved as written. We have the January 11, 2016 council meeting minutes up for approval. Any corrections or clarifications? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Bennis,
Second.
second by trustee Mount. Then we have a motion to second. Any corrections or clarifications? Again, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. We have no expenditures or ratifications tonight. We'll move on to our committee reports. Trustee Mount?
Well, thank you, Mayor. I do have a SWACO report tonight. One of the things that I want to mention is, and it may be a little late for the businesses in our community to see this, but tomorrow at the village of Lindenhurst, SWACO is holding a business electronics recycling collection. You know, the recycling centers that we have throughout the county are for residents only. It's not for businesses. They actually have to pay $20 per TV and monitor to drop off things, but a business can get rid of these things as a business by taking them to the Lake Villa. It's their public works. It's being sponsored by eWorks of Chicago. And so it's up in there. It's at swaco.org if anybody wants to go and take a look. For all the residents, we have it free of charge, 6 different locations throughout Lake County. The closest to Round Lake Beach is the Grays Lake Public Works on Berry Street. It's on the north side of town on 83. And that's open during normal business hours and Saturday mornings. And, you know, everybody forgets, as much as we've talked about it since January 2012, it's illegal to put electronics in the waste stream. You can't throw it out and expect Waste Management to pick it up. They're not going to. It's against the law. So, and scavengers don't want it anymore. So there's nothing, valuable inside of them. So be sure to take it to one of the 6 locations. You can go to swaco.org for all the locations. There's one in Grant Township. There's 2 down by Lake Zurich, Highland Park, Waukegan, and then there's the one by us in Grace Lake. So we've got to get these monitors and TVs off the streets and taking them over to Grays Lake. Household chemical waste collections are S Street facility. It's free to all residents in the state of Illinois by appointment only. You can go to swaco.org for that. We have pharmaceutical and sharp item bins at the Round Lake Beach Police Station during normal business hours. They can drop off those items. It's amazing how I think the village of Round Lake Beach has taken 2 different trips to SWACO with our pharmaceuticals, and each time it's been over 200 pounds. And I heard recently from Walter Willis that in 2015, we took off over $70,000 worth of drugs that were, the bad stuff. Now, we're not talking just aspirin. We're not talking the stuff that just people want to get rid of, but I'm talking the big stuff. So for all your solid waste needs, go to swaco.org. And remember, recycle first, trash last. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Mount. Any other reports tonight?
Well, yes, Mayor. Kevin and I would like to talk about our favorite subject, which is Beach Fest, Beach Fest, Beach Fest. And it's coming right around the corner. And since we have a camera in the house tonight, we wanted to remind the residents that Beach Fest will be
June 24th, 25th, and 26th, the last weekend in June.
So we are already preparing,
We
hopefully
have any
bigger and better than
bands
next year.
band announcements?
Well, actually our main bands, we have Bella Kane back again, after they had to miss last year. So they're back, and we have Modern Day Romeos back again this year.
Good.
Great lineup, awesome. So residents, just be prepared, it's gonna be a great festival. Come one, come all.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to remind everybody that the next fireside chat with Mayor Hill will be on February 10th at the Civic Center at 6:30 with State Attorney Michael Nurheim.
Thank you.
And we already had one, how did that go?
Yes, with County Clerk Carla Wyckoff, went very well. We had a lot of municipal clerks there, as well as some residents, and got a lot of nice information presented to the residents. So that's very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Wonderful.
Any other reports tonight?
Good.
Okay, move down to our mayor's report. We have a mayor's presentation. Each year in January, I give a presentation about the prior year, how things went, and what we're looking forward to in 2016. As I mentioned, this is an annual report as far as the village and the things that have happened in the past year and what we're looking forward towards the new year. A little bit about the recession that we went through since 2007, and we're finally, I think, hitting the recovery stage. Several different issues that we'll talk about are outside influences impacting local economic recovery, local economic decline, response, stabilization, and recovery, mitigating the impact to the residents, capital reinvestment, neighborhood reinvestment, and economic development. It's always the outside influences impacting the local economic recovery. Some of the major impacts were listed up here. You can see the Great Recession that we had that supposedly ended back in 2009. A lot of people differ on that, but that's what they tell us at least. The state of Illinois is still having difficulty with their budget and trying to make their payments. So that's hurting us. We had Rollins Gateway where they were rebuilding the underpass for Rollins Route 83. That slowed down economic development over in that area for quite a while. Now that that's done, we're seeing quite a bit over there. And also with just Round Beach itself. Round Beach, as well as every community in the state of Illinois, has had its own financial concerns that really won't be alleviated until the state fixes their financial problems. Hopefully not by taking away our share of the finances, which they continue to talk about. Again, the Great Recession, I think we all know enough about that. And Illinois recovery, unfortunately, Illinois didn't recover as fast as all the states around us. We're still really lagging behind. $100 billion in debt, and not even a budget passed this year. We're all very proud of the Rollins Gateway project. It's all pretty much complete now, except for some landscaping, little odds and ends, a couple repairs, for some things that cracked and so forth. But the overall project's all complete. As I said, we are seeing more economic activity in that area now. And I'll talk more about that a little bit later. Local economic decline, response, stabilization, and recovery. Round Beach's road to recovery has been slowed by the state of Illinois' ongoing financial problems, as well as the Rollins Gateway project. While the global recession ended in 2009, the county's Gateway project contributed to an interruption in the redevelopment of the village's main transportation and commercial corridor. The recession, in combination with the major transportation infrastructure project, extended the village's economic recovery from 2009, when the recession again supposedly ended, until 2015, when the Rollins Gateway project was substantially completed. Moving forward, the village's full recovery is still being impacted by the financial condition of the state of Illinois and the uncertainty brought on by the continuous debate on how to solve the financial crisis. You can see our equalized assessed valuation. That's the value of all the property in the village, divided by 3. And it's dropped by almost $135 million since 2007. We've been hit very hard with housing prices and the values of the properties. We do expect that to start going back up now. In fact, I thought it would have gone up this year, but the assessor had his own position on that, a little bit different than mine. Village has also seen a 32% downward correction in property values since 2007. You see the big dip down there, and it started stabilizing. Since 2007, our total revenues have decreased by about 16%. That's comparing 2007 to 2015. And then mitigating the impacts of the residents, well, very important to this board. The tax levy rate increases versus inflation. The village's annual tax levy has not kept up with inflation since 2007. The village has had to budget an additional $487,530 in alternative non-property tax revenues to keep up with the inflationary costs alone since 2007. The village's property tax rate as a percent of your total property tax rate has declined since we held the line, but not increasing taxes for 3 years in a row. Kind of give the residents a break, as everyone was hurting then. We didn't increase our taxes. We cut our expenses as best we could, tightened our belt, and got through that. We've trimmed staff to keep our budget in line with our revenues. Our workforce has decreased by about 22% since 2007. And I would like to believe we still have maintained the same level of service to our residents. We have a great crew and a great staff, and they do a great job for our residents. Capital reinvestment. That's how villages continue to move forward and grow. We're pleased to announce that we are beginning our 20-year capital reinvestment program a year earlier than planned. Projects include street resurfacing, water main replacement, sanitary sewer, televising and repair, and storm sewer upgrades. You can see this kind of a map of mostly on the south side of town where we have the older streets. You can see a lot of projects that are planned. We're going to be issuing a $5 million bond this year in order to pay for a lot of these, plus using some of the money that we have in our surplus fund right now. We've also pushed to have some of our main arterial streets added to the federal aided highway routes, increasing the village's ability to qualify, apply, and receive federal funding for the local street projects. Grant funding is 80% with a total match of 20%. In 2015, we're able to add Orchard Lane and Hook Drive. In 2016, we're planning to add Country Walk Drive and Civic Center Way, which formerly known as Mallard Creek Drive. Over the last 10 years, the village has invested nearly $46 million in capital-related projects. Funding has been allocated through TIF number 1, about 35%, general obligation bond debt, about 33%, and general operating transfers, about 32%. So we've invested a lot of money in the last 10 years. Neighborhood reinvestment, we have an older housing stock, and especially the southern side of town. We've been trying to make sure that keeps up as best it can. We started the HARP program, which is the Home Acquisition and Rehabilitation Program, back in 2002. From 2002 to 2009, there were 15 homes rehabbed under HARP. Following the 2008 economic downturn, HARP evolved to focus on the acquisition of abandoned, distressed homes that are good candidates for demolition and would assist in reducing blight in the neighborhood. We've been able to remove 39 abandoned or distressed homes in our neighborhoods, which makes a big difference when you have a neighborhood. You have one bad house that's looking bad, falling down. If we can get that removed completely, it's great for the whole neighborhood. Rental housing units have increased tremendously between 2008 and 2015. The village experienced a 128% increase in rental properties. A majority of the village's housing stock consists of single-family detached homes. 2-unit structures or townhomes. You can see by the chart here how much they increased. We had a lot of investors come to town when people were being foreclosed on, and they were buying the houses and then renting them back out. But again, you look at the chart here, even with the increase in the village's housing units, are still 81% homeowner occupied and only 19% renter occupied. The homeowner to renter mix is lower than the regional average for Lake County and the Chicago metro region. So we're still not bad as far as rental goes, but it did spike quite a bit. Economic development. New businesses are beginning to flourish. Between 2008 and 2013, the village experienced a 19% decrease in businesses. By 2015, the village's businesses increased to a pre-recession total of 342. So you can see we made a good comeback these last couple of years, and we expect 2016 to be even better. Some of the new businesses are B.A. Champs Vitamin Store over on Cedar Lake Road, Dunkin' Donuts on Route 83. It's a second store. They actually do all the cooking at the store over on Rollins and transport the donuts and so forth over there. I had Limited Fashions over on Haynesville Road, Heartland Dental and AT&T over on Rollins Road. That's the old Applebee's. We're really hoping to have another restaurant come back in there, but it's a commercial district, and whatever business wants to go in those buildings, as long as they buy the building and or lease it, they're able to go in there. Let's see, we have Asquinatade restaurant in, I think that's a little store over on Shorewood Road. We have the Murphy USA gas station by Walmart. Ron's Italian Ovens did a nice expansion, added a nice dining room over there. O'Reilly's Auto Parts over on Rollins Road. National Tire and Battery took the old Midas building on Route 83 and did a nice improvement to that and expanded it. And Super Taste also over on Rollins Road. And as I'm sure we've all seen, coming soon is the Myers. It's almost a 200,000 square foot store. We're really looking forward to them opening sometime later this year. We don't have a date yet, but they started working on it back in August, and they told us no more than 12 months. So we're expecting to open sometime before then. And it was mentioned earlier, you've all heard of the Fireside Chats from the White House. We brought that locally with our own Fireside Chats. We kicked it off back on January 13th with a chat with Lake County Clerk Carla Wyckoff. Sorry, got ahead of myself. Our next chat will be on February 10th at 6:30 p.m. with State's Attorney Michael Nurheim, again over the Culture Center. Please stop in. We'll have refreshments and can have participate in a nice little chat. We'll also take questions later on in the evening. And we also said goodbye to two amazing men. Former Mayor Carl Shrimp was a visionary that brought Round Lake Beach to where we are today by working hard to establish a business district that has grown and grown. We continued what Carl started with his advice along the way. Carl was also a member of the Round Lake Beach Law Enforcement and village trustee for 2 years. For 4 years, he was a police magistrate. Carl served 5 terms as mayor, totaling over 20 years as the mayor of Round Lake Beach. He also was a member of the Avon Center School Board and Avon Township trustee. We will all miss you very much, Carl. And we also said goodbye to Chuck Altman. Chuck was proud to be the first graduating class of the Round Lake High School back in 1956. Before that, the students from Round Lake went over to Grant High School. Together with his wife, Judy, Chuck was a talented and well-respected owner of Altman's Flower and Gift Box in Round Lake Beach for over 38 years. He served as president of the Round Lake Area Chamber of Commerce and also served on the board. The flower shop closed several years ago, but Chuck's memory will forever live on in Round Lake Beach. I remember when I first moved to Round Lake Beach, we'd always get our flowers, and Chuck and Judy were great people, and it's too bad they closed the flower shop, and we're going to miss Chuck very much. Thank you.
And we have that cabinet at the Civic Center. They came from,
Andrew, is there a clerk's report tonight?
There is not.
Okay. We'll move on to our business then. We have item A, is a resolution approving a professional services agreement with Gewalt Hamilton Associates Incorporated. We actually have 3 engineering firms that the village uses. All 3 of them are for renewals on their contracts. This is the first of the 3. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Butler, second by trustee Wallace. We have a motion and a second. Any questions by the board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Valdez.
Aye.
Trustee Wallace.
Aye.
Trustee Butler.
Aye.
Trustee Mount. Trustee Bennis.
Aye.
That's approved 5-0. Item B is a resolution approving an agreement for the village engineering services with Manhard Consulting Limited. This is the second of the 3 engineering firms we use. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Motion by trustee Venice, second by trustee Mounts. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Wallace.
Aye.
Trustee Butler.
Aye.
Trustee Mount.
Aye.
Trustee Bennis.
Aye.
Trustee Valdez.
Aye.
That's approved 5-0. Item C is a resolution approving an agreement for engineering services with Rezek, Henry, Meisenheimer, and Gendy Incorporated. We like to call them RHMG for short. Makes it a lot easier. This is the third and final engineering services agreement. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Motion by trustee Wallace, second by trustee Mount. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Butler.
Aye.
Trustee Mount.
Aye.
Trustee Bennis.
Aye.
Trustee Valdez.
Aye.
Trustee Wallace.
Aye.
That's approved 5-0. Item D is an ordinance authorizing the abatement of property taxes heretofore levied for the year 2014 to pay the principal and interest on the Series 2006, 2009, 2010, 2011, and 2013 general obligation bonds. Whenever we do a bond issue like this, we've got to also put taxes in place in case we don't have the money to make the bond payments. I'm happy to say that we once again had the funds to make the bond payments, so there will be no additional taxes to do that. We've never had to do that, but the bondholders require us to have that in place just in case. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Butler, second by trustee Valdez. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Mount.
Aye.
Trustee Bennis.
Aye.
Trustee Valdez.
Aye.
Trustee Wallace.
Aye.
Trustee Butler.
Aye.
That's approved 5-0. Item E is an ordinance approving an agreement with Aflac. We're renewing our agreement with Aflac to offer coverage for our staff. It's a nice benefit for them. They can pick and choose what they'd like to have and what they don't want to have, they don't take. So it works out very well with us. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Valdez, second by trustee Wallace. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Bennis.
Aye.
Trustee Valdez.
Aye.
Trustee Wallace.
Aye.
Trustee Butler.
Aye.
Trustee Mount.
Aye.
That's also approved 5-0. That's the item F. A resolution approving change order number 1 relative to the village's original agreement with custom installation and repair in the amount of $1,685.82. We added a few more items to the installation on the squad cars, and so we need to pass an additional $1,685.82. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Motion by trustee Mount, second by trustee Butler. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Valdez.
Aye.
Trustee Wallace.
Aye.
Trustee Butler.
Aye.
Trustee Mount.
Aye.
Trustee Bennis.
Aye.
Okay, well, this one's been approved though, right? Yes. Yeah, okay. Okay, that motion's been approved, 5-0.
Okay, and on the impact agreement, we've suggested changes to the terms of the contract. It's a standard form contract. Impact has indicated to Kevin, your finance director, that the changes were generally acceptable, but they need to revise the contract yet to incorporate the changes. So I think what we're going to ask is that it be approved, subject to attorney's final review, and I can certainly run the changes past the mayor and administrator and when we get it done.
Okay, so that's item G. It's a resolution approving a support maintenance agreement with Impact Networking, LLC, for computer network and support services. We reviewed all of our IT needs. We do that every once in a while. We sent out requests for proposals, interviewed the companies that responded, and have chosen Impact Networking based on their meeting the needs of the village the best out of the groups that are out there. They have a very good resume and a very good background, and I think they will help us to continue to move forward with our technology. Everyone heard what Attorney Puma said. Does anyone have any concerns about that?
Well, my only concern was the start date. Originally at the committee, we had talked about May.
Right, we're trying to keep the start date. That's why we're asking for that. That's the key in this whole thing.
Okay,
So otherwise, that's pretty extraordinary with the board. We've always had things work, or we've rarely not have everything worked out when we're here. But like I said, they've indicated they would accept our changes. It's a standard form contract, and the proposal isn't changing. It's really just making the standard form language meet with the proposal so that it's integrated.
thanks, Scott.
So I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion by trustee Butler,
Second?
second by trustee Mount, and that's to approve based or consistent with the approval of the attorney.
Correct.
And the mayor and administrator. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Any questions by the board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Valdez.
Aye.
Trustee Wallace.
Aye.
Trustee Butler.
Aye.
Trustee Mount.
Aye.
Trustee Venice.
Aye.
That's approved 5-0. Item H is an ordinance adopting by reference the Lake County Watershed Development Ordinance. The county has updated their watershed development ordinance, and in order for us to continue to oversee our own development, we need to adopt the same ordinance changes. I don't think there's anything too major in there, but we do have to adopt them. We discussed it at committee. Anyone have any questions on those? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Motion by trustee Wallace, second by trustee Mount. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Wallace.
Aye.
Trustee Butler.
Aye.
Trustee Mount.
Aye.
Trustee Venice.
Aye.
Trustee Valdez.
Aye.
That's approved 5-0. Item I is an ordinance amending Appendix A of the Village Code establishing the Orchard Lane Conservation Area Overlay, OLCA, district and regulations therefore. An overlay district helps shape the development in an area that is unique. This area has a lot of wetlands and needs to be protected, and also includes land for future extension of our Hook Drive over to Nicole Drive. There's some areas that are already zoned. The zoning is not going to change, but there will be certain limitations and restrictions that they've got to follow, and again, to help protect the wetlands that are out there. Any questions by the board? This is something we've been working on, I think, for about 2 years now. It's been a long process. I appreciate our planning commission looking at it so thoroughly. If there's no questions, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Bettis, second by trustee Butler. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Butler.
Aye.
Trustee Mount.
Aye.
Trustee Venice.
Aye.
Trustee Valdez.
Aye.
Trustee Wallace.
Aye.
That's approved 5-0. Item J is an ordinance granting certain variations and departures for Lot M4 in the Mallard Creek Shopping Center around Lake Beach, Illinois. They're going to be adding on additional retail to the section that was left standing by the new Meyer store, the one that's right out front by Rollins Road. They're going to add a section onto that to increase the retail that's available in the area right over there. It'll help our sales tax in the village and also give our residents a better shopping opportunity with more stores right in the same area there. Any questions by the board? Okay, if not, is there a motion to approve? Motion by trustee Valdez,
Second.
second by trustee Bennis. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Mount.
Aye.
Trustee Venice.
Aye.
Trustee Valdez.
Aye.
Trustee Wallace.
Aye.
Trustee Butler.
Aye.
That's approved 5-0. Let's see, we don't have any executive session tonight, but right now it is open to public participation. Anyone has a question or comment for the board, please step to the microphone, give your name and address for the record. You can either state your comment or ask your question. I think I left it turned on.
Hi, my name is Martha Martinez. I live in 1612 Leslie Avenue, Round Lake Beach. Back in early December, I came to get a permit. I was denied for the permit because I have some liens on my house that go back when I didn't even live in Round Lake. These liens are from 1987, 1981, 82. I bought the house in 1998. The village will not give me the permit until those liens are paid, but I don't understand why I have to pay for them. I mean, I am the owner of the house, the present owner, but I did not commit the violations, so that's why I'm here tonight.
This is the first time I'm hearing of this. I'll have to discuss it with our staff and with our attorney to find out. Scott, do you have any response?
Sure. Her title company apparently didn't pick up the liens and it wasn't on your title report. We've gone back and forth with your title insurance company and tried to resolve this with them. They would not resolve it with us. We're presently still trying to work this out. You have a claim against your title insurance company for missing the liens. And they're the one that was supposed to have done that. That's why you paid for title insurance when you bought that property. You paid them to tell you what those liens were, and they missed them. We are trying to work it out. Village administrator has met with the owner of the title company, and it told them that. I've had contact with the attorney for the title insurance company, and expect that we will try and still resolve it. We've made them what I consider to be a very fair offer to waive late fees and penalties, which I would have thought they would have jumped at, but they didn't. So we will keep you in the loop, I think, and Dave would be, that's,
So
and we'll let you know what's going on, but we have been in contact with them as recently as Friday of last week.
So it's their responsibility to pay those liens then?
That would be my position. That would,
Okay.
and,
So I don't have to pay for them as the resident of the house right now?
well, your title insurance companies, you pay for title insurance when you buy property to come
Right.
up with those liens, so that they're not of record when you close on your house and they're cleared off. And it's our position that they just missed them.
Yeah, I was just not clear why living there for 17 years, getting permits prior. Yeah, I got a permit for my garage, I got a permit for a central air, I got a permit for a sidewalk, a brick sidewalk. I recently got a permit not too long ago, November, December, to rework the sidewalk. And nothing was said to me in these 17 years in November or December for that permit. So now I need roofing, and I got the material in my garage, and I can't get my roofing done because of this, of something I did not know of for 17 years, owning my property, you know? So I'm a little bit concerned about what's going on my property, you know?
Understandably, yes. As Scott said, the title insurance, when they do a title search, they're supposed to find all that information and log
Okay.
it right away, so you're aware of it then. Apparently, they didn't do their job properly, and now they're slowing down the process. Staff will discuss this.
We'll follow up with you.
Thank you very
See
much.
what we can do to help you out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or concerns for the village? Hard?
My name is Anna Castro. I live at 17 West Southern Drive. I originally came here for another reason, which is probably going to happen in the future, so you'll see me here again. But I called a couple years ago because the sidewalks are brand new to our neighborhood, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. They're on Hawthorne Drive, and they help out a lot with the kids walking towards the school. However, we need to do some kind of ordinance to have the homeowners clean up the sidewalks or something. Also, another thing, the village does a great job. I'm really happy with everything that the village does. I've had a dead squirrel, they go pick it up right away when I contact them. We have water pipes breaking all the time, and they cleaned out the air out of the hoses. I'm really proud with everything that they're doing. Congratulations, you guys should congratulate them for me. However, when it comes to the snow cleaning, I live right in front of the school, well, right behind it actually, to be more better. They pile up the snow right on the corner. So you have kids like doing slides into the road or just walking over the little hill. It becomes dangerous at a point because you have kids walking all over the streets. Some of the parents don't even want to pick up the kids at the school, so they pick them up like 2 or 3 blocks away. So you have all these kids running around everywhere on the roads. Sidewalks are for safety. That's something I thought I should bring up. They told me to come to one of these meetings years ago. Now I have time to come in on a Monday, so you guys will be seeing me some. So if that's something we can work on in the future, to have some kind of ordinance where we can have the homeowners shovel their sidewalks for the safety of everyone, more than anything, the kids that are walking to school.
I know that's something we looked into several years ago, and I believe that there's liability for the homeowners. If they don't touch the snow, there's no liability to them. If they move the snow and something happens,
But
they left a slippery spot.
Yeah, if the board's interested in doing that, I can get back to you on that.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're not the only city that has sidewalks. There's a lot of other
Yes.
cities that have it and that have ordinances that where they have them shovel it. Another thing that we should take into consideration when we have the snow plows come around, if they cannot pile the snow there on the corners, that's something the principal asked me to ask. He told me he would come with me to this board meeting to ask you guys, but I'm gonna try to get him to come next week possibly, or the other meeting. But that's something that we should definitely look into, because I mean, we spent money making those sidewalks, and they're basically useless in the winter, because they're like nowhere to be seen. We can't walk on them. We're walking all over the roads, and just something to bring up.
Okay, well, I appreciate you
Okay.
stopping in for that. Thank you.
All right.
Mayor,
Thank you.
Mayor, I've looked into this recently with Village Administrator Kilbane. We actually do have ordinances that state something like, and Dave can correct me, I don't want to say it wrong, or maybe John can repeat it. It says something like, the residents need to keep their, and I don't even know if they use the word sidewalks, but sidewalks clean for school children and for dog walkers and anyone that might want to use it. So there is something on the books to state something like that. The thing is, like the young lady says, there's no penalty if you don't do it, because everybody's heard all their lives, "Oh, I'm not going to show that, because you fall down, you're going to sue me and get money," and blah, blah, I mean, Scott can look into that, but it's something we have looked in. Dave, I don't know if you want to correct me or not.
Now, there's a provision in the code, but it's hard to find, it's obscure, it's hidden in the property maintenance code. And it's basically addressing keeping the public right-of-ways or the sidewalks free and clear of debris or hazardous conditions, which would be the snow, but it doesn't come out and say that. So really, that's something that the attorney should probably take a look at if the board wants to help clarify the language.
Okay, I agree with that. That's something that, I mean, when you're in the summer, we do have, for some odd reason, we have enforcement where if the sidewalk is blocked, you will get ticketed. That's something that's enforced in the city. So yes, it is in the books. However, that also needs to be enforced in the winter. You know, it's like, not only are cars parked all over the sidewalks, but that's something that maybe we should consider, You have, like, in the summer, for some odd reason, we like enforce things more than in the winter. I'm not sure if because we don't want to go outside, or I mean, maybe I just don't see it, or I don't hear it in the winter because we're not out as much. We're all stuck inside the house. We don't want to go out. But that is something that does happen. I mean, if you're parked on the sidewalk, you will get ticketed. You will get some kind of citation. It is enforced. However, we also need to come up with some kind of enforcement where we need to have people clear their sidewalks. That's just. So it does exist.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments tonight for the board? Well, thank you for being here tonight. Like I said, we have no executive session tonight, so is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Motion by trustee Butler, second by trustee Wallace. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.